Hello, this is Joshua Benson, and for the Web Markup of Language Hitch class. Yeah, today I'm about to talk about the final project that I was assigned to work on. Now, I'm just gonna say up front that I hope that it's good enough to your liking, but for what it is I was assigned to create essentially a portfolio site for myself in case somebody's intrigued to hire me on as an employee or something. Either way, I want to start things off by talking about the different programs that I was assigned to work on. Now, starting off, I was told to work on what is essentially each individual page. So basically, what I did was I put up a final project site here, looking into various different things I've put in there, including photos and different other things like different pieces of CSS and even JavaScript to really make the site shine as well as it could. So starting off, we have ourselves the main home page or the index site. Now if I go and put on the developer tools, I've already put some JavaScript on here, or and essentially the JavaScript amounts to is me basically putting in a simple phrase. It was worth a shot because, well, for the JavaScript, it, on the home page, what I did was I basically made it so that if I ended up clicking the photo, it would tell me exactly one thing. It says, my name is Joshua Benson, and I took this photo in 2024. And that's because I took it fairly recently for the sake of this site. I've originally made this photo during the midterms to show everybody exactly what it was I was hoping to achieve for this site. Now, as for or what is essentially what I've written on here for the site, right, is that I've basically put in like my main homepage something, some stuff about me, portfolio, contact. The homepage is mainly just a greeting, meaning and how I'm intrigued to do what I can to help out with my contributions to web development. So yeah, uh, it says, "Hello there. My name is Joshua Benson. I am a young programmer who is more than ready to showcase what I can do with my talents. I am still recently new to the field of programming, but I'm sure to be of great assistance if need be. Ready for web development, I put in, my intrigue with web development is sure to be a bolt of brilliance for whoever is in need for a bright programmer like myself. I hope you are willing to have me for whatever help is needed for your website." And in the footer, I put in my phone number and email address as for quick convenience sake. And what I did as an interesting little thing for CSS is that I made it so that I put in like a thing for in case someone ends up scrunching up the screen or uses mobile or anything. And I changed the text color for the headers to green in order to go and show a slight difference there here in approach. And as you can see, yeah, the footer, it scrolls along nicely with the rest of everything. Pretty neat. And for what it's worth, I think I did a decent job with that. But yeah, for the CSS, I did a good number of things, like changing the color and fonts of the text and the header, and even applying a background here, including adding a background image, which I decided to do with a sparkle effect here. Here, in a way, it sort of looks a lot like, I don't know about you, but I think it's more about looking like snowflakes. And now, moving on to the next page is the about page, which is about myself. Now, one thing I did about the uh, navigation links is that I've highlighted them all to be sky blue in color, but then hover around it, it turns red. But if I click it, it turns green. Now, the About page, this photo is far more recent. I basically made that photo in preparation for the final all project, and basically some things about myself. I've written a little bit about my history, about who I am, and some of my hobbies, which include writing and reading, going on walks with my dogs and such. For education history, I put in my year of graduating from high school, attending a different university for a different degree, but then eventually he going back to college for her degree in networking, and then of course I added in some history about what sort of jobs I've been going through for the past few years. It's a pretty basic thing to think about, but yeah, if you want to know about what the code was for my about page, here it is. I've essentially ended up doing what I can with what I got here, making everything as straightforward as possible. It's not exactly like the greatest. I'm aware of that, but for what it's worth, I think it's serviceable in some degree. Not perfect, but hopefully it works out well for what I basically got in store for the final. The portfolio page is next, and yeah, these photos are not of the best quality as they're all scrunched up like that, but yeah, basically, what it is that it's some examples of some assignments that I've basically been working on for class since this is my very first official programming class. That's Web Markup. So what I did was I just posted a couple of assignments of what I've done over the course of the semester. Or the first request was to make a web page for like a fictional technical community college, and I've got links to these things up here in my programming name block, and right here. Yeah, this here is the index block for the technical community college that I was assigned to go and make over the course of the semester. It was honestly pretty interesting getting the chance to make the unique ideas of adding in like some div elements, working on like filling out the page, adding a mailing list. It was honestly a lot of fun getting the chance to work on it. It's not much to really work with, but yeah. As for what the site looks like naturally, um, it looks more like this. In case you guys are curious about what it's supposed to look like. It's not the best quality, like I said, but I have been working diligently on trying to make it as presentable as possible. It's yeah, for what it's worth, it's fine. I think I did a decent job here, especially with the college logo. Oh, I've worked on a couple of things for this site, including some stuff regarding JavaScript, like you can see here. Here, are, are pretty decent stuff. As for the other thing I've worked on for this thing, the other request I've worked on was the admissions page, which I think is actually quite interesting. For the admissions page, I had to work on a number of things, including having to make a full-blown own like form field action and do what I can to basically make what is essentially like a glorified like quiz or questionnaire or something that's supposed to, you know, make it look like you're applying to a college. It's pretty decent stuff. I even put some JavaScript in there for that one as well. Well, and it was a really tough one for me to work with, considering that I was honestly not sure how JavaScript was supposed to work here. Now, I'll get more into what the JavaScript actually is when I get further on my website, but this is what the admission form looks like outside of the rough photo that I've got here. It's a interesting thing to think about, but overall, despite how tough it was something that I think I did decent with. Now, the last major thing I want to put up is the contact thing. I put up like services for what I believe is decent enough for what type of programming, troubleshooting, software development is in the cost it takes per hour, but I don't know. Oh, I've never really worked in the field of programming before or up until this class started, so it's not much to really say here. But as for like the way this whole thing works out, I haven't really done much for this site apart from just working on what I think is going to be interesting. Now, you see how it says no contacts here? That's because I've been working on what is essentially some JavaScript for this site, and that JavaScript basically connects to this site in some capacity. Now, the way that the JavaScript I've written here works is that it makes it so that every single time that somebody ends up filling out like the name, email, and description of who they are and what company they work for and all that, I think it's interesting to say that the results will show on the website. I So, for example, I put in my name here, Joshua Benson, Joshua at gmail.com. I put in my email and then description. This is to show that this program um, um, is shown going properly on JavaScript. And once you hit the submit button, an alarm goes off. It says someone wants you, which I think is a great notification to say that somebody was looking into seeing what I can do. And I don't know, maybe it might not be enough to say, but I think it's a good alert. But yeah, you see that everything that I've written down is suddenly now here on JavaScript. And let's say John Doe, let's say, hey, that the email was this, is, and as you can see, that also gets added on here. Or, so yeah, it's basically a pretty straightforward site. Not exactly something ideal for me, but if there was like anything about this site that I think could be, you said that I think I could keep is well my about thing and could do some edits, but I could keep it like it is here. Here, the portfolio, obviously with more experience, I can always edit that. And yeah, if there was anything I could fix or change, I would definitely change up the home and contact pages, especially in regards to JavaScript. That's the one thing that I'm not really the most confident about with my abilities. I think overall, while it could have been better, I think that for what it's worth, though, I think I did a pretty decent job. But hopefully it fits the criteria for what the assignment has to go for. Otherwise, yeah, that pretty much is all I can come up with for the final. I sure hope it meets the specifications of the site. I, I've been, I sure hope it works well for you guys. But anyways, with that said, thank you all so much for looking at what I've made for this assignment, and I'll see whether or not it actually works out. Okay? Well, that said, thank you so much for watching. Take care.